republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I love the little kid voices with that.
Thanks everybody for being here tonight. Number 3 on the agenda is changes to the agenda. We do have a revised agenda in front of us. Does anybody else have any revisions or changes? And if not, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda here as revised.
I'll make that motion.
No second.
Okay, we have a motion by Robin, a second by Rick. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. The agenda is approved. Guests and open forum, we have an ordinance request, Tammy Leggett Johnson.
Hi, good evening, Council. My name is Tammy Leggett Johnson. I've been self-employed with Becker Massage now for over 2 years. I've seen really great success with opening up early at 6 a.m. during the week. I'm here today to ask the Council to consider extending approved business hours for massage therapy of the City of Becker to 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. The current business hours for massage therapy are 6 a.m. to 9 during the week, and 9 in the morning to 9 on weekends. So by extending the business hours on the weekend, it not only allows more flexibility in the schedules for all licensed massage therapists of Becker, but it also allows our clients the opportunity to enjoy their session locally before traveling out of town for the weekend plans, or to enjoy their day without a later interruption while we have some warm weather for a couple months. It's a desire that many of my clients have requested. Thank you for listening and for your consideration in adapting the hours of licensed massage therapists for the City of Becker to practice between the hours of 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And I can't remember. Can I ask, are there questions at this time? Okay.
Yeah, you can ask questions, we might not answer them.
Yeah. Well, do you have any questions? I can't remember if this is the meeting for that, so.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much for coming. Is there anybody else here to address council tonight? We do have a person. All right.
Good evening. My name's Jim Malenik. I'm with the Becker Youth Baseball. As we kind of get geared up for this season, I just wanted to take this moment, come here and say thank you. Thank you to the City Council, the Parks and Rec Committee, all for you guys' support, especially on the projects that we're doing at the BAC. Also special thanks just again to Chris, Jesse and his team, Josh and his team for making the BAC top tier. So if you guys don't know, again, we got, if you've been to the BAC recently, we just got some scoreboards installed. We're gonna do some dugouts for the junior ball fields that you'll see coming up this summer. We're replacing the junior ball shed. And one thing that I'm kind of proud of, we kind of worked with the Parks Committee on as far as we're highlighting our sponsors that are supporting the Becker Youth Baseball. So we'll actually be displaying these banners at the BAC. So just kind of something to kind of look forward to as you go out there. But again, thank you for you guys' support. Really appreciate it. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. All right, is there anyone else for open forum? All right, then we will move on to committee reports, presentations, and awards. Police Management Committee is up first.
All right, Police Management, we met a couple Fridays ago. Seems like a long time ago. First thing, we, as you know, we put in a order for a squad car, which we were hoping was gonna be delivered here pretty soon. That was canceled by Ford. So, apparently they make so many in a year, and we had put it in what we thought was within time, and just like as we should, we did everything we were supposed to do, and thought we had it in plenty of time, and I think it was even, it was last year sometime we put the order in, and they announced that they canceled the order. However, the new batch for the new model year is going to go in starting in May here, and we are going to be near the top of the line for this one. So because kind of as a, well, we're sorry we couldn't give you this one, but we'll give you the next one. The one thing with this new ordering process too that they're going to roll out here in May is they are going to allow you to actually select the delivery, kind of the range of not only, we would put it in and we might get it in March, we had an idea, but now we at least have a kind of a locked down when it should be delivered, barring any major issues with it. We talked about at police committee whether we maybe put in for 2 years, because now this would have been the one that gets replaced every year. We replace roughly one a year based off our usage. And, this would put, in the short term here, it would be okay because we would have, one and then maybe one shortly to follow it. But problem is when you go down, say, 4 or 5 years is what they typically last. So when you go to replace them, you now have two that are gonna, that second one is gonna go long. And so that's kind of the issue it's potentially gonna have. So we are discussing that, but we for sure will get our one in here and when it opens up for May here, so. We had a demo of the scheduling software, which the new scheduling software, which, scheduling PD sounds, if you don't know any better, you might go, oh, that should be easy to schedule. It's not. And especially when you're tying it into, payroll systems, things like that. So we had a demo of the new scheduling software. I believe Big Lake, there's some other agencies that use that as well. So that's where we got the idea of it. That should be coming out in the next couple months here. As far as going production ready. We also just had an update on just kind of the scheduling difficulties that we've had, some injuries, and just our part-timers, they work, all of our part-timers work full-time jobs at other locations. So, if they were just part-time sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, that'd be great. Unfortunately, they work full-time at other jobs, so if you work 8 to 5 at a job and, getting them to cover an overnight shift is not very easy to do. So, I noticed when our packets were dropped off last week, Chief dropped them off. Chief has, been picking up some of them. Just as maybe as a note, we are still providing police services. It's not like we're short or anything, but it's a little tough with, we have the sergeant position that's open, and then we've had a couple of people that are out right now. So a little short there, but that should be coming around. The folks should be coming back, and we're looking to have the sergeant position potentially filled later this summer. So that was about what I got.
All right, any questions for Rick? All right, golf committee.
Golf committee, in my rush to get here, I left my minutes at home.
I've got it.
You got it?
All right.
We met on March 24th, and basically we talked about the pond lining project, just had an update on that. We looked at some financials. 26 is behind 25, but we did open for play on March 11th of 25, and we have not had that luck this year, so that'll catch up. That's about all we had to do.
All right, questions for Robin? All right, joint planning?
Joint planning also met on March 24th. We finished and finalized the zoning ordinance updates. We heard a CUP for curbside waste for a drop site that was approved, and an IUP for Valruck sewer. That's what we had.
All right, any questions for joint planning? Budget and finance?
Budget and Finance, we met on March 26th. One of the items for discussion, there was a PFAS, Chris, favorite word, class action settlement that we were a recipient of some funds from that class action settlement. As of the meeting, it was $568,000 that we received as part of that. Basically, I think it was 3M and some other companies that were part of that. But basically, because we operate a wastewater treatment plant that has to treat that, and so that we were the recipients of that. We didn't allocate that money or anywhere that money, we have received it, but that's about it for right now, so, can talk about that, at a future date. We talked a little bit about the, deferred assessments, so the Luann Drive, the, project or the potential project that had been presented to us. There was some deferred assessments on the properties that are over there on the PIDs there. So we just had some discussion on that, and as well as the year end. We talked about the year end, the audit just recently wrapped up, and it's going to be presented to us. I believe it's the first week in May. It'd be in May for sure. So they'll be here to present that. Otherwise, there was no abnormalities on the numbers.
All right, thank you, Rick. Any questions? And finally, we have Planning Commission.
Planning Commission's an easy one. 7B on our agenda tonight was on the Planning Commission. We had a public hearing, and Planning Commission did choose to, we did recommend the rezoning, which is, again, 7B tonight. We'll save it for that.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone. Moving on, we have Board, Committee, and Consultant reports. Mr. Lisson has the Water Wastewater Department Toolcat replacement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I have for you an RCA and Resolution 2624 for the replacement of the toolcat for the Water Wastewater Division of Public Works. Staff are proposing the purchase of the toolcat to replace the 2013 toolcat that we currently have. This piece of equipment is listed in our CIP with a replacement life of 12 years. The unit currently has just under 2,300 hours on it, which is an annual average of about 176 hours. As we've talked before about toolcats, they're a very versatile piece of equipment. We use them for a lot of different things. It's no different in water wastewater as far as versatility. We just don't use it as much as we do in the streets and park side. So we've stretched the lifespan for this one in this area. We did get two quotes for the replacement. Those are listed in your packet, Farmright and Lano. Tonight, staff would be recommending the purchase of the replacement toolcat from Farmright because they did offer more in trade, which gave us a better overall final cost for the toolcat. This was discussed with the Public Works Committee, and the committee did agree that it should go to council for consideration. We do have money budgeted in our 2026 water wastewater CIP for this purchase. We had $62,500 budgeted. With that, tonight I'd look for a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2624, approving the replacement of the 2013 toolcat for the quoted price of $47,218, which is the cost of the equipment minus the $26,000 in trade-in, and a price not to exceed $52,000. And with that, I can stand for any questions.
All right, anybody have any questions for Chris on the toolcat?
Do all of our existing attachments, would they bolt up to this new one then? Is that pretty universal?
Yep, they will. It's outstanding. They haven't switched it, so it's only every 5 years you get, no, I've done that yet. So, yes, they all work.
All right, any other questions? If not, someone want to make a motion for Resolution 2624 to approve the replacement at a price not to exceed $52,000.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mike, a second by Becky. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Mr. Peterson has some property rezoning for us to look at. That's what Rick just mentioned.
Thank you, that is correct. That Rick was kind of hinting at that. Because tonight we do have a rezoning request for a block of parcels located near Pleasant Avenue and Field Street Southeast. So some background on that is the McDowells own McDowell Embroidery, and they want to relocate out of their private residence where they're currently operating. And so their property they're looking at is 12264 Pleasant Avenue Southeast. And what they're looking to do there is repurpose, there's currently a church that isn't in use there, and they're looking to add screen printing, a showroom, and maybe like a retail storefront in the future as they kind of get established. And so what this request would be is for the entire block, because it's currently zoned single family detached for all of those lots there. In our 2040 comp plan, future land use map actually designates them already as a mixed-use parcel. And so the reason why we're requesting to rezone that entire block and not just that church is spot zoning, in short. Rezoning just one parcel wouldn't be permitted. And so staff recommended to the McDowells that they talk to all the adjacent landowners first before submitting. All of those landowners ended up getting on board and were agreeable with that, with this request. And so on March 5th, we got 4 separate complete applications covering all 5 parcels, one of which is a vacant parcel that the same landowner as the home also owns. And so this kind of became sort of a coordinated request, which was also consistent with our future land use map. One really important piece to touch on is the effect on the existing homeowners. The rezoning does not require homeowners to change their use. So they'd still be able to stay a single family home, apply for building permits, add additions, things like that. And it's specifically protected in our UDO Article 1, Section 1.9.1C, which specifically says that single family residential uses are protected. They can expand, add accessory structures, sell the home as a single family home. The only caveat to that is that the mixed use standards would only apply if the owner wishes to establish a use beyond single family. So sort of a commercial type of use. City staff did also contact Sherburne County Assessor's Office to see if there was any tax impact for these other parcels by the rezoning, and they let us know that there would not be, because the county goes by what the property is actually used for instead of what the municipal zoning is. So there'd be no change there. As Rick kind of touched on, we did hold a public hearing at the March 30 Planning Commission. No public comment was received there, but I did receive a phone call after that meeting this week, just kind of from a person nearby that said they couldn't make the meeting and they were just curious what was going on. Once I explained it, they had no concerns or issues. So with that, I'll be looking for a motion in a second to adopt Resolution 2625, approving an amendment to the official zoning map of the City of Becker Unified Development Ordinance to rezone the above described properties from single family detached or SFD to mixed use district MXD. And I can stand for any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Austin? Tiffany, you're here not to put you on the spot, but do you want to come up and tell us what you're going to do there? We're excited to add a business in the city, so.
Was not expecting this.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you for having me. Thank you for considering. Like he said, I'm Tiffany McDowell. We own McDowell Embroidery. We've been doing it for 8 years out of our home, and we are currently just outgrowing our space. And we would like to be able to, hopefully in the future, provide a storefront for our community, and also just have more space to be able to expand, like you said, running embroidery and screen print, easier place to meet up with our customers as well. So,
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if there's no further questions, anyone want to make a motion on Resolution 2625, which would amend the zoning map to rezone this district from single family to mixed use?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
A motion by Robin, a second by Rick. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carried. Congratulations. Thank you, Austin. All right, administrator and staff reports. Our police annual report presentation. Chief Lindblom.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm super excited to be here for this. We didn't do an annual report last year with the transition in leadership, so it's been a year and I'm excited to get back on the horse with getting these presented to you. I had sent an email out earlier today that contained the full annual report. Tonight's just a brief covering some topics that are highlighted in that report, and just so the public does know, all of our annual reports are posted on the police department website. it was put up there this afternoon, so anytime after the meeting here, if you wanted to jump on, you can view the full report on our website under the annual reports page, so. And Greg's helping me out. 20s. Coney's gonna save me.
Now. Wasn't me.
I'm still excited to present this.
We're still excited to hear it.
Never had an issue. Here we are, right?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
There, something came up.
It just
Yep.
came on.
there we go.
Our monitors came on, if that helps, you don't know.
Well, that one's working.
Yeah.
I think that,
I've got no monitor.
somebody did something. That, I wasn't aware of.
All right.
This one's also not.
That's the tech guy blaming everybody else.
Mine doesn't work either, so I'll share.
Well, like I said, if we're okay moving forward, we can go with the screen behind me here. Just an overview of some of the content that's in the actual annual report I wanted to kind of cover. First and foremost is going to be our organization, right? This is the men and women who come to work every day for the citizens of Becker, and I'm extremely proud of the work that they do every day. We've got a really good team set up. In 2025, we added Patrol Officer Hunter Henkels, who kind of replaced me when I had moved up to my position, and he's on the road now. We also added Cody Pausch and Jeff Webster, who you had the privilege of seeing their swearing in a couple weeks ago here in council chambers. As of right now, we do have a couple reserves. We have one reserve remaining. Hannah stepped back now at the beginning of this year to pursue some other employment opportunities. So wish her the best of luck, and we're always looking for additional reserve officers to continue. So that's a little look at the team that serves you each and every day. Talk a little bit about budget. You can see here did really well with budget. Some of that comes to just being mindful of our budget. The other was staffing. We are a little bit short staffing this past year with some staffing issues, so that kind of helped a little bit on the budget side. And then we do have some key revenue sources that we like to highlight each year. Police state aid, you can see there is that $110,000. That was the biggest that we've had in approximately 4 years, and that's kind of been a steady little growth that the states provided us each year, and that directly relates to the formula that they use for state aid. So that's been a good benefit. Towards Zero Desk Grant, that's the TZD grants, your drunk driving, distracted waves, where we can go out, work those shifts, and the state reimburses us. This year we funded 19 overtime enforcement shifts with 93, almost 94 hours of dedicated patrol, traffic patrol to those issues. So it could be anything from distracted to speed and drunk driving. So those are some of the revenue sources that we see each year. Crime statistics, that's the budget trend. So I took this from finance. They really like to show the graphics, so I thought I should throw one in there. Just throwing a little bit better look at the last few years and where we've been at, which is pretty consistent there. Part A, crime. So these are crime trends, and the way that we documented crimes changed a few years back. So this does look a little bit different. We've kind of been working to clean up. It used to be, it's Group A and Group B now, and it used to be A1 and 2, Part 1 and Part 2 crimes. So what they did is NIBRS is the group that gathers all this information. They changed how they gather that. So some of these things have switched a little bit. Part A crimes highlights, so this is going to be kind of like your bigger crimes. You can see here assault offenses consistent. Drug and narcotic offenses are down from 54 That was in 2022. Just wanted to highlight that. One of the reasons for that decline is a lot to do with the state regulations on some of the ways that we operate in, vehicle searches, and obviously marijuana laws changing has had a huge effect on that. A vast majority of our narcotics cases stemmed from marijuana cases and then would expand out from there. And so that's had a pretty steady decline because of those changes as well. The two arsons on here, it was we have an occasional arson complaint. These were combined, so we actually had two charges out of the same one incident. So not super concerning to me to see that on there. Just it was a pretty isolated incident. And then our larceny and frauds have kind of remained stable over the past few years. So Part B crimes are your kind of quality of life things. These are a little bit more minor. DUIs are up from last year. Our guys and gals that are working the road have been getting out and trying to really focus on those areas, and that ties into those TZD shifts as well, where they're actually out there working those state-funded programs to specifically target the DUIs. Most of the other trends have kind of stayed pretty much the same. I am gonna look a little bit into our liquor law violations, which is gonna be like open containers, open bottles, under 21s, things like that. It's been a really nice decline since 2022. So we actually had 0 last year. So kind of an interesting trend to see that we're not running into that as much anymore. Calls for service. So this is kind of like the front end high picture of what your police department's doing. 2025, we had 5,525 calls for service, which is up from 2024, but still below our high of 6,200 about in 2023. So some of that's just attributed, again, those staffing issues. We're not going to calls for service, but when we're short, we've had people out on medicals and things like that. The proactive calls for service does take a little bit of a decline. So I attribute a little bit of that to there. Busiest months continue to be January, February, and March. Everybody thinks summers are super busy, but in Becker, a lot of us are fortunate enough to have cabins and things like that. So we see a lot of exodus on Fridays and Thursday afternoons, and our weekends and things like that in the summer are actually typically not as busy as the winter time. And you can see just our common call types. So medicals, alarms are always year after year going to be kind of our high calls for service on the basic calls. Excuse me. Some crashes, domestics. Domestics are down a pretty decent little amount, which is nice to see. And then everything else has remained pretty consistent. So. A little bit about traffic, because that's a very visible part of what we do every day. You can see here we made about 1,700 traffic stops. We do issue a lot of warnings. A lot of that's to traffic education. We get that question a lot, like why do we have a warning versus a ticket? And part of it is officer discretion, right? We trust that they're going to go out and make those choices appropriately. They'll take a look at past driving conduct, complaints that we've had in our internal record system, which includes all of Sherburne County. They'll take a look at Minnesota DVS if they've received citations in the past, and then they kind of base a lot of that on decisions on kind of what that looks like. And a lot of times we're stopping people for the first time, or they don't have a ticket on their record, and then we use that as an educational opportunity. Most of the citations we issue are for speed. The 21 DUI arrests are highlighted there. Driving after revocations, which remains pretty consistent each year, and then school bus stop arms. Those did go up starting last year because of the funding that we got for the camera systems on all the buses. So all of our main buses have like the 4 or 5 cameras that are on them, and that's been a huge help for us for the violations, for the stop arm violations. So we've really enjoyed having that. Community engagement, that is kind of a big area for me. I'm always trying to get involved in different ways. So some of the things that we did this year is did our community events, donut drive-through, guns with the cops, laser tag with the police, national night out. School interactions have been good. One of the first things that I did after I became the chief is I met with our superintendent and made it a point to go to each of our schools to do a walkthrough, and then subsequently have our officers go through and do some random walkthroughs there with them as well, which I feel has been a really good collaboration with the school district and just kind of partnering up. And just being present at more, a basketball game or a football game, walk through and just be visible for those has been a nice interaction with them. Public safety education, we do a lot of different things like that throughout the year. We speak at the Reckless Driving Academy. We do presentations for daycares, fall festival we were at, and any of those opportunities, and then business partnerships. So I just recently spoke at the community Chamber of Commerce event to the businesses that were involved there, and just kind of talked a little bit about what the police department can do for them. And how we do things for the businesses. So that's been another kind of big area for us that I've been working on, and and with some fun pictures of some of the cool things that we did throughout the year. These are mostly from our community engagement events, but we've got a really good crew that is always willing to kind of step out and do those things to interact with the community. That being said, that's kind of a quick highlight. I try to go because I know I can talk, so I try to be mindful of that in your time. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take those.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
On that state aid for extra duty or whatever it is that local, or do you travel someplace for that?
So most of those are local. It used to be dependent on on where we're at, but we start in Becker. We work the Becker area. If it's not fruitful, then we'll go out. Now there are occasionally ones that are scheduled elsewhere. So for instance, Distracted Driving Wave just kicked off April 1st. Might have heard about it. They've been really pushing it. They actually had a kickoff event in Elk River on 169. So we had a Becker officer, 2 Big Lake officers, a couple Sherburne County officers in Elk River then.
Okay, so if they issue a ticket on that, does that show up in these stats then?
Yes, so those count as our
citations. It looks like it's a Becker issue then.
So those citations would go under ours, yes.
Yeah, but in your numbers.
Yes, numbers would show the citations that were issued for those,
Okay.
Yep.
So not all of that is local then?
Correct, not every ticket was written in Becker. I would say maybe throughout the year, there's 20 that are, in one of those bigger events. Our officer that worked this one on April 1st, I think he wrote like 5 or 6, and they have those maybe a couple times a year, so not as common as it used to be. Back several years ago, we used to travel a lot more, and we'd be in Elk River or Big Lake or Zimmerman or St. Cloud.
That, yeah.
Yep, so they kind of started to hone that back in a little bit to your local agencies. Yeah, good question.
That's all I got.
All right, any other questions for Chief?
Awesome. Well, thank you for the time tonight. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank all your staff as well.
Yes.
All right, moving on to Mr. LaRude for the consent agenda.
Mayor Kobinger, city council members, items for review, approval, or adoption on tonight's consent agenda include the hiring and termination report, authorize the Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 payment of claims as presented. The claims listed have been provided to the city council as a separate document and is available upon request for public view at City Hall. The total claims are $310,690.45. Approve the March 17th City Council meeting minutes. Receive the minutes of the February 23rd Fire Board meeting, the minutes of the February 24th Budget and Finance Committee meeting, and the minutes of the March 20th Police Committee meeting. Approve massage establishment business license for Tammy Leggett Johnson for a location change. Approve farm lease agreements 26-01 and 26-02 with Kyle Golly. Approve the revised Becker Lions Club temporary liquor license. The dates are for June 19th and 20th as part of Freedom Days events. Declare the 2003 Ford van as surplus and order its disposal. Approve lower potency hemp edible retailer cannabis registrations for G. Will Liquors and Quick Trip. And I will be happy to answer any questions.
All right, anybody have any questions on the consent agenda? If not, someone want to move approval of the consent agenda as revised?
I'll make that motion.
No, second.
Got a motion by Rick, second by Mike. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Consent agenda carries. Some anniversary announcements. Full-time in the police department, Paul Hickerson, 11 years. Part-time at the golf course, we have Dewey Summerdorf, 12 years. Curtis Birch, 10 years. Brenda Peterson at golf, 9 years. Tiffany Bennett, Community Center, 8 years. Aaron Bordson, golf, 5 years. Dan Olson, golf, 5 years. Ashley Reed, golf, 5 years. Christopher Reed, golf, 5 years. And Zach Winter, golf, 5 years. Thank you to all those full and part-time employees. We appreciate your dedication to the city. Did receive a letter back, our postal regulatory commission complaint received a letter back from Phil's best friend, Mr. Ziegler. And he said, we're still working on it. So that's paraphrasing, but it wasn't a whole lot longer than that. So I was pretty proud of my complaint and thought it was pretty thorough, and they said we're working on it. So I'll let them know that's not a satisfactory response, and we'll ask the commission to be involved. We kind of expected this to come, but it's nice to know they're still working on it.
I think if you don't keep the fire on them, I think it's gonna go away.
Yep. So we did submit, last week we submitted the FOIA request. We decided to do that online. The township was good with that. So we requested all communications related to the Becker Post Office from June 1st, 2024 to, I believe, March 30th of 26.
And I've told people I know around here and Monticello to write letters to the postal service.
Yep.
Just don't mail them.
That's what I said, send them an email.
Yep.
We don't have a post office.
Well, I just wanted you to know we got that letter back, and it was good to know they were still working on it, so. Anybody else have anything else for the council meeting tonight?
Nope. Nope.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Rick, second by Mike. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Meeting is adjourned at 5:36. And we'll take just a couple minute break to get some stuff ready, and we'll roll to the executive session. Thanks for coming tonight, everybody.
What day is that?
Is that on here? Is that the one in the consent?
No, that's a different one.
It's a different one?
I gotta make sure I go to that. I've had guys specifically bring it to my attention. I remember seeing it. I just don't remember when it is.
If I can find it in my meeting minutes.
I think I thought it was in April. But
Meeting minutes.
Hey, Rick, do you remember when that Legion shindig is?
Which one?
It's one where the Lions are serving beer. Remember?
They changed the date, they had the date wrong.
Yeah, so it's just for the,
What's the
The
revised
date
one?
that was on here?
Yeah, the revised,
No, well, that's for Freedom Days.
right.
yeah.
No, this is, the Legion's having a dance or something,
Oh,
Oh,
and the Lions are serving beer.
yeah.
I got my meeting minutes. I put in there.
That was like the end of the month.
That's what I thought. I guess we gotta make sure I go to it. I've had a couple of them mention it,
Yeah, it would have been on last week's,
It was like over a month ago that we approved that license.
yeah. If I do have it on my calendar, I might. I do not have it.
I don't see it either.
If we have the,
Thank you.
I can stop by the hardware store and ask John.
packet from, Yeah, I, have it on, or someone would talk about it, the consent agenda. February 27th. This will be
May 1st. This one right?
Usually I get that stuff on this.
May 1st, they're having live music.
Yeah, when?
May 1st,
May
Friday.
1st.
See, guys, you just gotta go to the Facebook.
I don't do Facebook.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm like, boom,
Mike's a TikTok guy.
he's a TikToker.
I don't.
Snapchatter.
What's that?
Snapchat.
No, I don't do any of them. Social media would be the death of you.
Totally. So fancy. Yes. Like, look at how fancy he looks there. Did you call him? Did you call him? When?
Gonna write your email on the dollar there, that's.
Is that when we were freezing at the Twins game?
We just let it roll. So you are being recorded. You're being recorded.
He's like, who cares? It's Chris.
That's the number we've received in.
He was mentioning that he'll like help like bebop in and out this summer because he's gonna move tomorrow.
Reopening.
Yeah, they're open, they opened
They
before.
were open for a couple weeks, closed back down April 1st and
It
opening
was so
again
cold
tomorrow.
the last few days.
There were that, I golfed that Sunday, that was so nice. And the
They opened like
originally,
2-3 weeks ago.
But he's 21.
Well, until it got cold here and then they closed for,
here I can get it up.
they've been
Second
closed,
set
they've been
of
closed
days.
for about a week, or something,
No,
close to a week.
but no, he would have been good because he looks so much older than his age.
Apple Creek Golf.
Listen, I know, sorry.
21
in October.
Originally opened March 25th. Closed April 1st.
Oh, I'm like, who else did I know that would look? You know what I mean?
Opening tomorrow.
Perfect.
Rude. Still rude. Moving home this summer, so.
I should have had supper.
I haven't
We'll
either.
bebop in and out of here.
Everybody ready to rock and roll?
That's rock.
I'm ready.
Alright.
We will call the executive session to order at 5:42.
I love your lies.
Mr. Sanders, you're up first tonight, it looks like.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't know why I tried to turn that on, it was already on. So with I think all of you are aware, with the departure of our building official, so Mark Lucht gave his resignation notice on the 26th, and the effective date was the 3rd. It's a little sooner than that, but we're in the position now to work with Rum River on the consulting work to do the building official work that we need. So it didn't give us a lot of time really to kind of get in this situation. We have a contract with them. The contract was on call and as needed. That's an hourly rate, so they're here $95 an hour, everything that they're doing. And right now we have, I think it was around 100 open permits, and so we had a number that were in the middle of inspection things that we needed to take care of. In the industrial park, we have a number of projects that are trying to finish out, and so Rum River's been really good at taking on those, working with Karin and Austin. Karin has done a really good job of trying to wrap some of those up and working with Rum River on getting those solved. The biggest piece is if we were to continue at $95 an hour on an hourly rate, that's pretty expensive over the long haul. We're not hiring, so if you're aware that we went to part-time, and this is for the public too, whoever is listening, we went to part-time with Mark just due to the amount of work and what hasn't transpired at this point over in the industrial park. And so we went to 3 days a week, which had been working well, and then this occurred where we need to retain services. So Rum River had provided us with a draft professional services agreement and fee schedules changes. Some of those are recommended fee schedule changes.
because a lot of what they do is based off the state fee schedules, rather than the older 97 Unified Building Code schedule, which we've been using for a while. So, depending on the outcome of this discussion, we would take anything that we glean from here, kind of go back, reconvene, adjust where we need to, and then bring an official ordinance amendment on the fee schedule back. The changes in here, there's a bigger fee schedule in the appendix, which is actually a good thing. It's much longer. What Rum River is recommending, it's a little more defensible. And so I'll let them kind of talk about why the changes that they're recommending are where they are, and then I'll kind of come back at the end for any other questions. So I'll turn that over to, and I forgot to introduce them, so Andy Schrader and Carrie Levitsky from Rum River.
All right, welcome.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Andy Schrader. I'm co-owner and chief building official with Rum River Construction Consultants. We've had a supporting role in Becker here for about 3 years, and now we can move into to serve as your designated building official. We work in this role in 21, perhaps potentially 22 now, municipalities across Minnesota. Education and voluntary compliance continues to be our focus, as we found the flexibility and ability to deliver a service based on constant improvement and meeting the specific needs of our customers. We use that word intentionally, customers, because that includes not only the contractor and the builder, but also the building owners, the future owners, as well as the general public, city staff, and of course elected officials and in the jurisdictions that we serve. Each of these have distinct needs and deserve our time and attention to assure that they know their role in the life, health, and safety of the buildings that we all use. I'd like to introduce Carrie Levitsky. She's our senior advisor to address the contract language and how we can move forward from here. Thank you for inviting us here this evening, and we look forward to continuing our focus on supporting the city of Becker.
Good evening. Thank you, Andy. I'm a little bit more vertically challenged than Mr. Schrader. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Andy did a great job teeing this up. You know, when we first received this call on March 27th, I will say I was a little bit nervous. Typically, transitioning to a full-service jurisdiction is a few month-long process. So to be able to do this in a week time, I will say I was a little bit nervous. But, you know, following our meeting with Jacob and Austin and Karen on the 30th, I believe, and then again with City Administrator Greg on the 1st of April, all of those anxiety feelings very subsided. You've got great staff, and they certainly were helpful, and no doubt that we will have a very successful relationship ongoing as we transition into what will hopefully be your next designated building official service. Again, we appreciate their professionalism and experience, and really look forward to, again, what will be a longstanding relationship. Before you this evening, again, is our contract, proposed contract you have in your packet for tonight, what is current along with what are proposed, and same thing with model fee schedule along with your current fee schedule. And I'm here to answer any questions that you might have and walk you through maybe some high level why behind the what for the fees. And I understand also City Attorney has reviewed our contract as well, has made some suggestions. We made those changes and provided that new draft. So before we go on to the fee schedule, any questions related to our contract that either Mr. Schrader or myself could answer? Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I don't.
So Rum River Consultants, we currently have 21 full service, or what we consider designated jurisdictions under us, and we also provide them the same fee schedule every year and try and be consistent. One of the benefits of having a uniform Minnesota State Building Code is also to try and get those fees as most uniform as possible. And so one of the things that is important to understand is that we want to make sure that, you know, fees are reasonable, defendable, and also pay for the service that's provided. It's commensurate with that service that's required by state statute and Minnesota administrative rules. And so when reviewing the current fee schedule and providing our recommendation, we did notice that there were some adjustments that we were looking to get more aligned better so that that cost of service doesn't full trickle over into the general budget as far as the development and the cost of improvements pay for that service. So we do have that before you tonight for your review, and if you have questions, we're here to answer them.
All right, thank you very much. Jacob, are you gonna take us through some of the?
I certainly can, and I think it'd be good too if Andy and Carrie can kind of jump in on some of these. So I think she mentioned that the adjustments are to align with the state fee schedule rather than, again, like mentioned, the older 97 UBC that we've been working off of. I think change-wise, if you look at the red line version of our existing fee schedule, you'll notice that the over-the-counters are the ones that are probably the biggest impact. Valuation-wise, there's some adjustments, but they're not necessarily way out of, how do I put this? They're not huge adjustments on our valuation numbers, but the over-the-counter numbers are. So they're about double, a little less than double what our current fee schedule has in place. We're at 65. We adjusted that a few years ago because it was at 50 to kind of keep up because it hadn't been adjusted for a while. And so what this does, it puts it more on par with where the state is adjusting for the industry in general. And so there's that kind of the increase on the 95 an hour, 1 hour minimum, some other adjustments in there on fee inspections. But again, I can let Andy and Carrie kind of talk about those and why those numbers are adjusted, why it's important. You'll notice too, there's an exhibit in the contract. There's a proposed recommended, there's a number of exhibits. Part of this is Rum River taking over this would also utilize, we would utilize their services for delegated building officials. So for example, like fire for bigger projects, public ones. So they have the delegation at the state level. We currently use their plumbing services. That saves a heck of a lot of time for our commercial businesses. And so, for example, I think the state is at 12 weeks right now on a plumbing review. Rum River turns those around, I don't even know if it's pretty fast. Yeah, about a week or two. And so that's been really valuable to a lot of our commercial operations. So that would be valuable as well when you talk about fire and those other mechanical things like dealing with the school or other big projects that typically the state would review. So they would have to go to the state rather than us. But if you go down to, it's the one with the blue lines, it's kind of says 2026 recommended fee schedule on Exhibit A, and it has revised 217 at the bottom. So it looks like this one right here. So you'll notice this is much longer than what we have in our fee schedule currently. That being said, in reviewing this, it's way more defensible. Like you'll notice on page 6 of this that there's the value per square foot that's actually listed in here so that the community knows where our valuation's coming from. When Rum River kind of values the permit, so a lot of contractors will put, oh, my house is gonna cost me $300,000. Well, Rum River looks at that and says, here's what we're basing our valuation on square foot off of. We've had that question a lot in the past. We haven't had a really good solid answer for where those square footage comes from.
This valuation is what it's gonna cost to build.
Right, so it values the house at a certain square foot or the deck or attached garage or whatever that is, lean-to, carport. Yeah, and I'll let you guys can feel free to jump in and correct my language here.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. And great point. So you will notice that our fee schedule is substantially longer than and what yours currently is. And there's a reason for that. And there has been some ongoing litigations with some area cities that aren't too far from here. And part of that is that valuation per square foot. There were bills that were introduced last legislative session in 2025 that could have potentially had a negative impact on local control as far as what cities do. And part of that is not being transparent. People, when you apply for a permit, it is you're required by law to identify the valuation, but that doesn't mean that it can arbitrarily be taken, like, so if someone says, oh, it's gonna cost me $1,000 to build my deck, and then the building official or inspector that's doing the plan review might come up with a different number, and then you figure out which one is higher, and then that revenue is additional to the city. That's not how Rum River operates. We go off of, we're very transparent, very consistent, and that is part of that valuation that's identified within that proposed recommendation for the fee schedule. It helps property owners, and it also is, you know, our fee schedule is very much, as it says on the very top, it's formatted to be understandable, explainable, and defendable. And there's a lot of language that's also incorporated into our fee schedule that talks about, you know, the multiplier along with that valuation, and also giving certain price breaks for property owners that are doing multiple projects for maintenance. If you're doing a furnace replacement and an air conditioner at the same time, instead of having $100, $125 for each permit, we allow that combination, or we recommend having a combination, because again, it is, it's, the fees need to be commensurate with that service that's provided. There's also a lot of fees that aren't identified within your current fee schedule that we feel is necessary. And such as, I believe the, you know, structures moving in and out, along with the plumbing delegation did have some statutory changes last legislative session. And that was part of our delegation in our supportive role, is the plumbing plan review. And the state met with plumbing contractors, and they had not looked at their fee schedule in quite some time. And so they had what's called a TAG committee, or a technical advisory group. And they got together and thought what's best would be to align the plumbing plan review and plumbing permit similar to what the build and how building permits are calculated, which is that fee multiplier along with the valuation. So that's all been realigned as well. Your current schedule cites the 1997, what was considered back then the UBC fee schedule, the Uniform Building Code. As we all know, in the early 2000s, Minnesota State and everywhere across the country moved over to the I-Codes, International Code Council, and part of that aligning, that fee table went away. And so our fee multiplier table, which is cited on that very first page, matches the state of Minnesota, except for the very first two lines, and that is so that we have a minimum fee, essentially that $125 is what we are recommending. We did notice that, you know, a lot of cities, when they, and jurisdictions, when they're going through their fee schedules on an annual basis, it's a little hard to swallow going, wow, $65 to $125. But if you consider the fact that what was the service that was being provided even before Rum River wasn't covering the cost of that staff member. And so by ensuring that your fees, again, are not having any sort of impact on your general budget, so being fiscally mindful of that and responsible as far as that again, the permit needs to pay for that service that's required by law. And I can go through other, there's a lot of language that is in there. And I'm more than happy to go through, but I don't want to drone on more. We have a little bit more of a passion for this than most people. So again, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, I just used your number to figure out, I just did a deck last year, so I just used your number to figure out, and it used it as the base multiplier or whatever, and it came pretty close. I mean, it was reasonable. I mean, it wasn't like, it was a.
It is very close. Thank you, Councilmember Hendrickson. And also, we, if you'll notice, in our fee schedule, we do have maximums. And to my knowledge, we don't know of any other jurisdiction other than the jurisdictions that we are designated building official in that have maximum permit fees. So for some of the most common property owner, for instance, projects for decks, accessory structures, and basement finishes, sometimes those values can get quite high, especially with the cost of where things are, even though we haven't adjusted our valuation data table 2022, so in over 4 years. Either way, we do have maximums. So, people love, for instance, we're finding more and more outdoor spaces, for instance, even in Minnesota mosquito weather. People love their outdoor spaces, and some of the decks can get rather grandiose. And so by having that maximum permit, even though that valuation might go a lot higher than that, people aren't paying $1,000 for a deck permit. We have those maximum thresholds. And again, to my knowledge, I do believe that our recommendation is pretty unique with that.
So I think just about everybody here has been here long enough to, we've had a building official in-house. Before that, we had a consultant service before that. Definitely was, there's a reason we went to bring a person in-house previously. I mean, we had, I would say, a less than desirable experience. So probably more than the financial piece would be, I guess some of the situations, I'm thinking back several years here, but, the building inspector would say, I'm gonna be there at 11 o'clock, and so the contractor, whoever, would show up at 11. Building inspector, oh, I'm sorry, I can't get there till 1. Well, it wasn't a rare occurrence. It was something that happened pretty often, and we had a hard time at getting problems addressed, I guess. So
I can feel Mr. Schrader next to me just jumping a bit, even though I could probably talk about this as well, but I'm gonna pass it over.
Thank you for that question, Mayor and Council. I feel very passionate about this. We operate on a 20-minute window. We're either 10 minutes early or 10 minutes after the appointed time, and anything beyond that, we're calling ahead of time. We can anticipate, but we do take very close attention to that factor as far as being punctual and knowledgeable. And I look at this, we really need to be two things. We need to be knowledgeable, we need to be accountable. Knowledgeable, we don't want to guess, we want to make sure that the things that are required of the contractors and the homeowners are in fact required by code. Because we are affecting people's largest financial and emotional investment, their homes and their businesses. We're very cognizant of that. And then we also have to be accountable. Want to make sure that we're on time, and not only in our inspections, but also in our plan reviews. We've spent some time today's only Tuesday, yesterday and today with staff, getting to know the software, contacting the contractors to let them know that we're now taking over the plan review and the inspections. So I take that very seriously, and I'm glad you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a lot of complaints
The last
a few
one.
years ago,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Jacob, I have a question. The over-the-counter permits, kind of maybe explain that process. Does over-the-counter mean they're reviewed, not reviewed?
No, over the counter, so they come in, we have a set form that they apply on, it's online, all of our permitting is on there. The inspection's the big deal, so then once they pull the permit, they get the work done, they call for the inspection, schedule it through Karin, Rum River comes out and does the inspection on that.
Is that for like shed placement? Or do we have some that there's not inspections on?
So Andy can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of those, like the mechanical and other ones, all require the inspections. So anything that they're pulling a permit for will have some sort of inspection, whether it's 1 or 2, it depends on the permit.
Fence is just administrative though, correct?
If you're talking about a fence below a certain, yes. So if it's all those administrative ones, like if it's under 200 square feet, we don't require a building permit. We're just talking building permit fees here. The administrative fee for a fence, I think is 50 at this point. It was 25 a while ago, but it's a $50 permit. So.
That's what I was
And that
getting
would
at,
stay.
was the ones that aren't inspected. That's not gonna be
Nope,
affected?
not with this, nope.
Got it. That's what I was wondering.
No, those would remain the same. So we're just talking building permits. And to Andy's point, I think, again, by nature of just the situation we've been put in, I think Rum River has done a really good job in the last week coming in and kind of working with staff to pick up the pieces where we had a lot of loose ends. We've had a lot of meetings with them. I think we've been pretty comfortable with where they're at. Karen's been really complimentary of the work they've done. She had a meeting today with 2 individuals. The SmartGov software, they've worked in a number of online permitting softwares that are able to kind of pick a lot of that up pretty quickly. So from a service delivery standpoint, we've made that expectation pretty clear in our meetings with Rum River, and they understand that when we've talked about our previous experiences with a contracted service, because that is a big deal. And we've done a lot of work to make positive and solid relationships with our local businesses. So, and we've made them aware of that.
So Andy, my question would be, and I know you've had a long time to think about this, being sarcastic there, but do you expect to have the same or similar group of people servicing us? Or are you gonna have someone that might be here? Is it just gonna be, hey, run over to Becker, a different person every day? Just
That's
curious.
a great question. Thank you, Mayor and Council. That's a great question. We do have dedicated staff to each jurisdiction where we serve. And we've also found benefit of having a desk in the office as well. And every city, I believe that we do have a dedicated workspace. We have monthly meetings with staff just so that we can be on task with what's coming up and things of that nature. But in here, we will have a dedicated residential and a commercial inspector. And then I'm, as the building official, I'll come in just to make sure that everything's being done correctly.
Great. That'll just help breed familiarity as we go forward.
It will,
for
absolutely. And then that way, staff also can expect and develop those relationships. That's really important. So we do have dedicated staff, in short, yes.
Cool.
So you mentioned, maybe more of a question for Jacob. You mentioned we have roughly 100 different things in flight right now.
I think it was about 100, yeah.
I'm assuming they would just be under the old, whatever they started on, whatever fee structure, and then
Correct.
we would, obviously you would continue to bill. We would just, if there's a difference, we'd probably have to eat it. That's just.
Yeah, and it's in the contract, and one of the lines that talks about that, the pre-existing permits would be under those, and then, I don't know where I put my other papers. Oh, well, that's all right, if you put, I can try. I think the biggest piece,
We
to your
like her
point.
already. She's stealing your stuff and putting you on the spot. This is great.
Right.
So it is an existing one where I think it's under the $95 an hour fee for the existing. Any of the future ones, once the contract is executed, that would be kind of the trigger point between the two. Thank you. This is what I was looking for. So yeah, pre-existing permit administration, it would invoice at $95 an hour for administering prior to the sign date of the agreement. And then if there is any, oh, thank you. Were you gonna say something, Annie? Go ahead.
I was, thank you, Jacob. Mayor and Council, I would like to evaluate that existing list a little bit more closely. That is our arrangement at $95 an hour, certainly. But we don't want to overbill either, so I'd like to see that if we can look at those and group them together while we're in town to check those boxes, to do those inspections, we might be able to do it more efficiently and effectively than an hourly wage. But we're looking at a report from Karen to understand exactly what those permits all entail, and then we'll be able to go into your software to see which inspections were already done. It might be a little bit faster and more efficient that way, but I'll come back to staff with that once I get a better handle on exactly what's out there yet.
Okay. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
And from a standpoint of the percentage, so this would be, I know with some of the state delegated ones, I think they're 85%, but the general building permits, Rum River would retain 80% of the permit fee, and then 100% of the plan review fee. And then 20% is what the city would retain. And I talked to Greg about that. That's fairly typical in the industry right now, anywhere from 75 to 20. I think our current is at 75% under our current contract with Rum River. Couple of things budget-wise we would work with finance on as far as forecasting into the future. So this would be one of those years that would kind of set a benchmark for some of those budgetary discussions to come.
That was gonna be my question for Greg. What will this do to this year's budget? What is your,
Well, revenues are under expenditures already. So this year we will likely be, we'll have more expenditures and revenues. We were on the positive side last year, so there will be enough to draw on. But going forward, with this arrangement, the city would never lose money on the service, right? If we have our own, we potentially could be exposed to losing money providing the service. This way, we would not. So yes, we will have to kind of calculate our revenues, really based on net revenues, no extra expenditures, so to determine our revenues each year. But it will be on the positive side.
sure, yep.
And if I remember right, when we did it before, it was close to a pass-through, and the only time it really changed is when you got the year-end kind of thing, because you'd have stuff that would start one year, and if you might collect it the next, or so.
Right.
That was the only time it,
Yeah, last year was a good year in permit revenue. This year it's down a little bit. Yeah.
All right. What else do you need from us tonight, Jacob?
I think just making sure you're comfortable with what's been presented, if you're comfortable with where the fees were, because that was one of our bigger items, especially on over the counter, then we can post a draft fee schedule amendment. Because it takes 10 days to do that, so we would have to get it to the paper tomorrow, which we can work on in the morning, trying to format that for a draft ordinance, and then we would bring it back with the contract on 17th, I think, or 21st, thank you. So as long as you're comfortable with that and don't have any further concerns or questions, that's all we really need.
Anything else for Jacob or Andy or Carrie? Thanks for stepping in, helping us out.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks to staff. I'm sure that's been a lot of unexpected work for you, so good job. All right. Next up, we're on to roundtable. Mr. Knutson.
you're not putting in your notice, are you?
Denied. Next.
Well, you don't know what ground you're standing on, you wouldn't be on that show meeting. No, I want to get in front of me tonight just to kind of give you a heads up what the next 3 or 4 meetings could look like as it relates to the community center. If you looked at the CIP for 2026, we've got a healthy spend from the community center, and it's not on one specific thing. There's a couple of big projects coming in, the pool deck improvements, the pool resurfacing. We've got some mechanical stuff going on. So Brandy and Troy have been working on it since early January and have done a really good job. But what I'm trying to do with them is to work together on kind of clumping those together as we come through, so we'll see those. None of them are going to exceed the sealed bid thresholds by any means, but there's some things we got to work through. And I don't know exactly when they're going to come out, but as we look to do this, most of the work is going to get lumped together because it revolves, we're getting rid of the mushroom, we're proposing to get rid of the mushroom. So when you drain the pool, you got to be ready to replace some of the pumps, the pool rinse, the pool surface itself, and trying to do all of it together. But to get some of these things scheduled, a lot of these companies won't get you on the calendar if you don't get a deposit in place. Can't get a deposit in place without bringing it in front of you folks to get it going. So strategically, we could have something as soon as the 21st, for sure by the first meeting in May, and we'll start lining these up. So just wanted to kind of get your thought around that it's going that way. And I think the spend profile is 554, I think. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming over the next few meetings, and a lot of that's going to get piggybacked probably the end of August or 1st of. So, got any questions, let us know. We don't really run a lot of this through the Park and Recs. It is the community center specifically. It doesn't impact that, but there's a lot of little things that are going to add up to a lot of big numbers. So
$554.
With a couple of zeros. So, I'll work with finance on that. Some of that stuff, we're seeing some savings because the economy of scale. So we're looking to invest that strategically, but not overspend on anything. So we're gonna get creative, but keep the integrity of the CIP in place. And I think we're gonna be able to do that and really kind of give that whole pool area a really nice refresh. It's 32 years old, and we've not done a lot of work in there, so it's needed. But I think if you just envision that, we'll just kind of peel back the curtain, and I think the users are really gonna say, wow, we did a lot of needed things, but a lot of cool things to improve the area. Just wanted to give you that heads up.
How long will the pool be down?
They're telling us right now, we're probably going to announce the 6 weeks. We think we can do it in 4. But we'll message that with our members. We'll communicate that. We'll do a nice storyboard on what's going on so people understand why we're doing that. Tell the story that 32 years in the making, it's time for us to redo these things, and just be patient with us so we can come back through. And when we unveil this thing, you're gonna see the benefits of us doing it. But right now they're telling us 6 weeks, but we think we can do it in 4 if everything goes right. So we'll lean on the 6 and hope we can unveil in 4.
Okay, thank you.
So I know when we've done pool closing projects in the past, we've always shot for that first 2 weeks right after Labor Day. Obviously, this is gonna be a wider gap, so do we start before Labor Day then? Is that the goal, or?
The goal is we've got some availability based on the contractors that we're looking with, towards the end of August. So maybe that week or even 2, maybe 10 days prior to the Labor Day holiday to get it going.
When school starts before Labor Day this coming year, so. Yep.
Again, we'll look at those characters. We do reciprocate with Monticello too. We've had a good relationship with Monticello for the last 15 years. When we close our pool, we give some courtesies to their members and vice versa. So we'll work on that as well, just to offset that. It is a slow time as we get back into the school season and we see things happening. So we do have it is a good window, but you take away the sauna and boy, people.
Oh, the sauna's gonna be out?
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
The spa will be out. Yeah, so there's a lot of work. The filters, we may have to take out the sand filters completely. It's old technology. So there's a lot of stuff we're working on. I don't want to chase bad dollars on a project like that. So it's a big undertaking. Like I said, Brandy and Troy have attacked this really, really well. So I think we're going to have some good projects, but I think it's a good investment as well.
Will the outdoor splash pads still remain open?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, splash pad traditionally Memorial to Labor, but then we just carry that into the fall, depending on weather. We have a hard stop usually the middle of October-ish. We just pull the plug because we've got to be able to drain it ready for winter.
I was thinking if we had a hot day or something where people may normally go into the pool, at least, I mean,
Right.
I don't know about us, but if you got kids, I guess you can go out to the.
Really through the month of
We'll be
September, the first week or 2 of October. We had that last year. We had a couple of 85-degree days. It's a matter of just opening the valves again and the activator's ready to roll. So let people make the decision. We don't make the decision. Water's to it, so if they want to use it, they can use it.
I'm just looking forward to seeing Rick at the splash pad.
Right?
That's what I just heard.
More to come. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Do you want to talk about massage?
Yes, I was gonna give a quick, just a legislative update. Greg, I think, is going tomorrow. Jacob testified with me last week or the week before. Did a very good job. That was your first time, so congratulations. It was great. We had all our testimony planned, and then they ran way over and said, all right, you get 30 seconds each. So Jacob did a good job with that. LPI has a bill to look at a study, how they can maybe generate some steam, because we know that's a domino effect. When Sherco shuts down, LPI doesn't have steam. Tomorrow there's going to be some talk about the ETAC stuff that we're looking for in terms of the development for energy transition communities. So that is still on the docket. Yesterday I hosted a realtors roundtable, so invited 9 or 10 realtors. I think 5 or 6 made it. Talked about development, property values. That's kind of been a hot topic lately with some people online. And the realtors were very unanimous in saying the biggest threat we face in Becker is not attracting any kind of new development, but failing to replace the tax base we lose with Sherco. Because what that would do to our tax profile, and they do hear from people now that are a little bit worried about moving to Becker because we're losing that big tax base. So that continues to be my focus, that we need to replace that lost tax base. Obviously, we don't have a current proposal to do that, but when and if we would get a proposal, then we would weigh that development proposal based on its merits. And then, yes, Rick, we should talk about the massage amendment and see what people's thoughts were about that request.
Yeah, she's asking for 6 to 9, which is our Monday through Friday hours, to do it 7 days a week. I think the 6 AM, I don't think was, I think our only concern is always just been, we don't want it to be a lady of the evening type of place.
When we set those times, we didn't even consider early morning.
I think she even had suggested the times. I think
Yeah.
She did.
And so.
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
I don't.
I don't either.
She wants to work that much more power to her.
Right?
We'll prepare an ordinance then and bring it back at the next meeting.
All right.
Did anybody, so there's discussion on a bill of potentially setting nuke on Sherco property. Anybody see any about that yet? So I was just curious if we, probably don't know if we got any phone calls then. That's
Right. That just came out today. Didn't I see that
today
today?
or
Well,
yesterday, yeah.
On social media.
Did you actually read the bill, or did you just see the headline?
Just the headline on it.
With all due respect to my neighboring community, I think it was just a erroneous headline.
Was it?
It's Senator Matthews' study to study nuclear and end to the moratorium. So I read the whole article today, and we were there for that testimony a couple weeks ago. Specifically citing nuke in Becker was never brought up. His bill just ends the nuclear moratorium. So I personally looked at the headline and I was like, what? We were just there. So I'm not sure the headline matched what was printed in that newspaper.
Gotcha.
Because we didn't hear anything specific about that proposal. It was just, let's study this. It's not ending the moratorium, it's let's study what an end to the moratorium would look like. So I don't think there was a specific proposal related to Sherco that I saw. But yeah, that headline made me think too, because I'm like, oh boy.
Not that I'm opposed to it, but it was just kind of like, nobody had talked anything about it, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're.
I have my answer ready if people ask me. That's news to me, because I was there and they didn't mention that specific thing, so.
Cool.
All right, anything else for the round table from anyone? Jacob. No need to be sorry.
I forgot to mention it during my things on the fee schedule. One of the things that finance has been working on is right-of-way permitting. I know they've been working with Public Works and Chris on that. So that's something we would also look at tackling as part of the fee schedule amendments. I think Lori said they could have it ready for that, so just wanted to let you know that.
She did?
I thought you did. Maybe, anyway, I'm gonna leave the microphone now.
She looks
Lori will have it.
Maybe.
Way to give due dates.
Maybe.
Nice work.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been nice knowing all of you guys, so. No, I think that would be something we could do as part of that, but I just wanted to mention it. If it isn't ready, I think it could come back later, but they are working on that to kind of keep up with the staffing costs. That was it.
Okay, awesome. Anything else? You have another toolcat you want to buy, Chris, or we got them all now? Just
Uh-oh. Just so you guys are aware, the grinders for the Argway site we got a hold of them today, so they'll plan to start Monday, probably start grinding Tuesday of next week. And then they've requested that it's closed during the grinding for safety of their workers and residents, so it'll be closed for 7 business days approximately.
Starting when?
To the 24th.
Starting when?
14th, next Tuesday.
Would they open during the weekend since they're not gonna be there?
We can check on that and see, depends on where they're at in operation, and there's more stuff coming in separate, we have to just make sure we're kind of keeping what's what, so.
Can we get that out on our socials and?
We'll do some communicating up, I just texted with them today, got the information, so.
Okay.
As soon as it gets warm here, then everybody's gonna
And you can always go to Zimmerman or Big Lake as well, because the cars work at all the three sites, so. I did reach out to them and let them know what our branding was, and so they just finished in Zimmerman, so.
And that's
Lots of room there.
next Tuesday, you said?
Next Tuesday.
Perfect. Isn't that you gotta stop pruning oaks then anyway, right?
Yes.
I haven't
So
done
we-
mine yet, so I can't even get in.
Yep, so we're good there.
Hey, Chris, on the social media, can we do a reminder about updating your compost card too? Because people will have forgotten that by now. Mine's done.
Look at you. Mine is not.
Tony, did you get that?
And I got my kids coming to help me this weekend.
I know, but you're listening to the
Better get
recording.
on that.
Oh, sure. There was a ton here when I was here yesterday.
By my house, take mine.
Might do that for
All
you.
my stuff's in my
What,
yard.
is Mike volunteering to pick our stuff up?
He really
Yes.
is.
What am I doing?
Picking our brush up. I cut all my trees down a couple years ago. I don't even have a tree anymore.
Michael drive to Zimmerman with the gate open and get there and nothing will be there.
Like everybody
I
else.
can't get in. I haven't updated my card.
You won't have to, it'll be empty. Motion adjourned.
All right.
Motion.
Is, everybody gonna be here for the board of review?
I'm not.
I will.
I will.
Anybody certified besides me?
I am.
You are?
You only
I'm
need
certified,
one,
but
so-
I won't be here unless it's necessary.
I might not be able to make it. That's why I'm asking.
I am, so,
Becky, you're here?
pretty sure I still.
Is there, do we
not
need
here?
a quorum for
We
that?
need a quorum. So, 2.
So we need a third.
How about, are you gonna be here?
No, I'm at work.
Okay, well, I'll let you tell my wife.
Oh, don't.
It's not like your anniversary or nothing, is it?
It's her birthday.
Oh, gosh.
That's-
Mike.
How about I buy you and
long
Sue's
is it?
birthday dinner since I won't be here?
I'll be
Honey,
here.
it's free dinner. It won't cost us anything, but we'll have to go out to eat a little bit later in the day.
Go to like Manny's.
Yeah, Manny's, yeah.
I'll just break the news to her tonight, that's all.
Go to lunch.
Right.
Go to lunch. and
I'll leave the porch on,
No, she wants to
sleep
go
on the
to-
couch if you need it, that's,
Like, how quick is the meeting?
all right.
All right, we
It's about
are,
45 minutes.
are we good?
Oh, it is.
Or, yeah.
I'm just seeing if I could leave a client.
All right,
Okay.
we are adjourned, 6:26.
I didn't see anybody signed up, so they'll give their.
Yeah, really quick.
And they.
She wants to go in the afternoon. Make an afternoon and evening out of it.
Oh.